over the course of the 2 weeks, you made some plans, intending to find an inn with the faithless and pursue any kind of constructive leads that you can find from there. With plan B being to prepare some demolitions and in a manner that will hurt the fewest people or no people, as seems to be the preference of the majority. Um, and create enough distraction that you can simply walk past the police line. Unrocked at the moment. Okay. Thanks, Lulu. Oops. Alright. And so, it sounded like you were going to, in finding an inn with the Faithless, you were basically going to spend some time in the city, enjoying the sights, the sounds, and the consuming storm for your web of contacts to build. Who had that focus that was you're going to lean into?
Oogie does. Connected.
Oogie does. Okay, great. So, Oogie, why don't you go ahead and start us off with making a connect roll with an ability, an attribute that you think best represents how Oogie is going about trying to make the right connections instead of just making friends.
Okay. Before I do that, may I read the text of the focus?
You certainly may.
All right. Level 1. Gain Connect as a bonus skill. If you've spent at least a week in a not entirely hostile location, you have built a web of contacts willing to do favors for you that are no more than mildly illegal. You can call on one favor per game day, and the GM decides how far they will go for you. So my interpretation of that is that we may have to do some special things to actually call in the favor, perhaps, but that I definitely have found somebody useful to us.
Yeah, absolutely. I do still want you to roll.
Okay. I don't know what I'm rolling for, though.
This is more of a does he get it done earlier than a week kind of roll.
Okay. All right.
This isn't a whether you get to use your focus roll.
Sure. Yeah. I wanted to understand the purpose of the roll before I made it. So
Yeah, and if you feel that Oogie would not be trying to rush anything, then we can forgo the roll and just to go for kind of a full, casual, relaxed week.
no, Oogie would have gone into kind of his professional charm offensive mode. Trying to
I like that. Charm offensive.
trying to schmooze efficiently, because that's how things get done.
The best offense is a charm in offense.
Alright, so I'm gonna do connect with charisma.
Okay. Oh, I still had us on the begin shortly screen. I'll have to remember that. Okay. So, the overly friendly nature of these people is proving some complication to Oogie. Why don't you do you want to narrate out the difficulties Oogie is having in trying to make this quick? And for reference, I will say that it only takes him about 5 days, but you know, this certainly could have been done in 4 or 3 days if he had navigated this culture differently.
Sure, yeah. So Oogie plunks himself down at the commissary table on the ship, looking disgruntled, and he complains to whomever is happens to be present. "The- These people are friendly to a fault. I'm out there trying to get things done, and it's all small talk. Oh my God, I haven't ever had to make so much small talk just to get some information out of people. They
Yeah.
ask me about my wife. They ask me about my kids, and it's real awkward when I have to say, I don't got a wife. I don't got kids. Well, why don't you got a wife and kid? And let me just tell you, these people are friendly but nosy."
But in all of that, Ogi has identified a few key people that are friendly beyond just the that cultural open and accepting behavior that actually have taken a liking to Oogie or think that he has something to offer them in return. And he's
Don't
identified
I always?
always he's identified several people of that nature that he'll be able to call upon. Um, and just for the refresh. In fact, I would point out that anytime you want to present the wording of something like your connected focus, you can go ahead and click it on your character sheet, and that brings it into the Roll20 chat. I don't mind if you do that right now because I'm going to refer back to it.
Okay, stand by.
All right. And so you've got level 1, right?
Yes.
All right. And
So I'm actually not sure on the character sheet, where do I mark what level of
it
various focuses
should be
that I
right
have?
next to the name itself.
Oh, okay, there it is. All right, I thought that. Yeah, I see it now.
There you go.
So yeah, connected at level 1, shrewd merchant at level 2. That's what I was expecting.
And so I'm going to ask a leading question, but feel free to call it out as leading. Are you using that favor to locate somebody who's connected with the faithless, so to speak?
Um,
Or did you have something else in mind?
well, that is leading. I was hoping to role play up to the point where we identify somebody who could help us,
Okay,
and then use the favor to get them to help us.
sure, sure. Um, one of the people that Uki identifies as being friendly beyond the cultural expectation um, is a little bit nutty, um, has divergent theories and beliefs than the bulk of the population here, the majority of the population, and has referred in um, some of Oogie's conversations with them. They're a regular at a particular coffee shop that Oogie has found useful on a couple of occasions. Um, refer to some scrawlings and blog posts by someone that he's called ApocWhen.
Say that
Um,
again.
ApocWhen. I'll spell it out for you. ApocWhen. I mean, it doesn't really need to be spelled out, but just
I
for
But
can just
clarity.
I can just imagine Oogie though going to this cafe just to get away from all the nice people. Just like, give me a break.
Yeah, maybe it's got uh, a bit of a different clientele. Might have been driven by some conspiracy theories. The tender and the not tender, the servers, the baristas, and the owner, um, they do not go and attend whatever rituals are going on outside that temple on a daily basis.
to a place that it seems, at the very least, indifferent to the goings on, and therefore probably a somewhat safer space for the unfaithful.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And he's only
So,
raised this in casual conversation. He hasn't gone into any depth so far, and Oogie can tell that he's been feeling out Oogie as much as Oogie has been feeling out him but for different reasons.
All right. So what was the conspiracy theorist's name?
ApocWhen.
Oh, that was their name.
Yep.
Okay.
If you want a name for your person here, let me pull up my Tamil name list. His name is Cavan. Cavan H. And Uki has discovered this about. Let me actually get that here. Ugi has discovered, and Saul can confirm, Saul Elazad is an outlier in this. He took the name Elazad when he, I guess, left the place. But most Python names are a first name and a last initial. The last initial is either the father's, excuse me, the father's or mother's name, or more likely, the name of the city that they come from. So Cavan just happens to come from a city that starts with an H. And they all present it that way, as H instead of, or the letter instead of the whole name.
Okay. And Kevin H has mentioned this person named ApocQuen.
Yes.
In connection to, like, what was the context?
Um, in the context of, uh, yeah, you hear him talking to someone else, or someone else walks in, and while Oogie's having a drink with him, a coffee with him, um, and quickly mutters to them, "Hey, have you heard seen the latest from ApocWhen?" And it's usually it's either yes and then a quick furtive glance at Oogie, um, and we'll talk later, um, or a no, I haven't. I mean, simple as that. Um, and he's been squirrely enough about it that Oogie's uh, sense of caution to not, push him away has led to this moment. Oogie's sitting in the cafe with him right now. It's been a lull of silence. Oogie hasn't pressed the matter in the past, although I'm sure he has expressed some curiosity. Correct me if I'm wrong in any of this. Um, and so there's this lull right now where cafe is silent, and Kevin seems thoughtful about something.
Any for your thoughts, friend?
haven't haven't seen anything from. Well, you you are an outsider, but you know that we are not all like the temple people. Yeah.
Oogie winks and makes a gesture as though he's trying to draw the brim of his hat down over his eyes. In a conspiratorial manner, scowls when he remembers he doesn't have his hat. Yeah,
Kevin's.
I might have noticed a thing or two. I mean, eh, that business out there seems kind of crazy to me. But like you said, I'm an outsider.
ApocWhen. Uh, she writes the she writes the the truth of what you're saying. Like, it's crazy, right? That that this that our government, the church, would be using. They must be using this, and I'm just. Some of us are worried that maybe they got to her.
He looks. He kind of puts on a humble face and says, "Well, yeah. I mean, I heard you mention her a couple times, and I didn't want to pry, but then, yeah, I suppose her name hasn't come up too much in the last day or so. You think she's in trouble?
She normally posts every 2 or 3 days. Doesn't like her.
Well, I, I mean, I'm curious about that thing out there, and well, if you think something has happened, and this lady might know a thing or two, why, it would behoove a gentleman to go and help her.
What? Like, just go and just just help her? What do you mean?
Well, I mean, isn't that the definition of courage? You do the right thing even when it's tough.
Well, yeah, but the if she got taken, and what would someone like me even do?
He kind of puffs himself up, and he looks like he ain't afraid of nothing. Why, you might just tell your friend Oogie what you can, and you point me in the right direction, and I'd be willing to help.
Why?
Well, I mean, you and me, we've got simpatico. We've been having some good conversations the last couple of days, and well, I'm
Yeah,
as curious about that cloud as anybody. And I mean, if the government's doing something wrong by the people here, well, I'm stuck here too.
yeah. I guess that's true. Uh, well, here
I mean, where do you suppose they would have taken her?
we go. Oh, hang on real quick. And I'm very sorry, Ben. I did not get your token made. No surprise, right?
Sudge.
uh, well, I don't know. See, she's been. They've tried a couple of times. Here, and he slides over, spins his laptop around, and opens it. Actually, not laptop, data slab. Brings this data slab up and angles it so that both he and Oogie can see it. And he pulls up an underground blog that apparently isn't ApocWhen, but is tracking attempted hits on ApocWhen. Um, and one of the reasons that it turns out it's been kind of hard for anyone on your side to really find anything on her after the occasional references is that her name isn't spelled ApocQueen. It's pronounced ApocQueen. It's spelled cleverly ApocWhen. They think it's clever.
Ah,
And this this blog that he's showing Oogie seems to recount some uh extraordinary uh tales, failed attempts to capture ApocQueen. Um, there are uh, stories linking together articles of police action, crediting their ApocQueen's escape on everything from predictable police incompetence or government incompetence to unexpected miracles. Um, one such reference suggests that ApocQueen has survived a hail of bullets, at least once, potentially multiple times. And so he's showing this to Oogie. So it could be just as dangerous to try and go to her as from her as it is from the police. You sure you wanna tangled in that, friend?
Oogie, slaps his hand on the table and then kind of looks around to make sure that nobody's paying too much attention.
Nope, that hand slap has drawn some attention, but has turned more of it away.
Okay. Well, you're damn right I want to get involved. Like I said, then it ain't right if they've gone and taken somebody off the streets. I mean, especially if this is true. They got it out for her.
Yeah, you're right. When do we do this?
Well, I mean, time is of the essence, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess it is. He looks at his data slab. It's still on the blog, simply reporting their ApocWhen's escape attempts. And he says, "We're coming for you, my queen."
No.
I couldn't resist.
So what's the plan? Like, do you think they're holding her where? At a police station? At the temple? At some government building?
Well, I kinda know where she's been holding up lately. He says this real scurrilously, looking around.
So he's a stalker.
Of course he is.
He's definitely a stalker.
I'm just waiting for him to say my queen.
He did.
He
He already
did.
said my queen.
Oh, okay.
You missed it. Good crash on screen?
Yes, actually, 2 of them. Not crashes, but DNFs.
Mm-hmm. And
So when he says that he knows where she's been holding up, Oogie just kind of makes a hand gesture to suggest he continue.
and he gives Oogie directions to what Oogie and the rest of the crew in kind of hanging out in the city have discovered is a little bit more rundown. Now, there's not much rundown in these cities. The theocracy seems to take pretty good care of things, but there are still rundown parts of the city. Places that just, for whatever reason, get a little bit less attention in making sure all the buildings and neighborhoods are up to scruff. And so Oogie has a location for ApocWhen, and he's about to get an excuse from Gavin after giving Oogie directions to this location, even going so far as to write down the address for Oogie. Actually, the address is secondary. The directions are more important because you saw that city map I posted, or the city map example, not specifically this city, just example of what the streets are like. He then says, "But I can't be seen in that area, because I have to." And he's clearly trying to make an excuse.
Oogie
Restraining order.
Oogie just kind of waves him off. He goes, "Like I said, friend, don't you even worry about it. You just point your friend Oogie in the right direction, and I will make some good things happen."
You're like one of those real life cowboys from those shows.
Oogie winks and says, "All I'm missing is the hat, right?"
Probably have one made for you here.
It won't be
Oh,
the same as the Kamiego hat.
it wouldn't be the same.
Yeah, okay. And so, if Oogie spends, however much longer Oogie spends with Gavin, he kind of goes on about some of ApocQuen's blogs. Sound a little bit more like ramblings now that he's talking about it more. Uh, but some relevance here is that apparently she is heavily criticizing theocracy, um, challenging the pervasive and, in her own words, insidious preachings of the church using monsters to scare humans into blind obedience for personal enrichment. She repeatedly questions when any of the predictions will come to pass, and has a particular hate for how the church uses Vig, which is another planet in this system, as an example of disasters to come. When Vig is, or a sign that disasters to come, when Vig is very clearly man-made. So this ApocQuen is very critical of the theocracy, and calls into question their use of these monsters, as well as when any of their preachings will come to pass. You know? When is the Black Loom going to wrap us all up?
All right. Well,
ApocWhen.
after letting him
Mhm.
ramble for a little while longer, um, Oogie picks up the tab for the coffees and says, "Well, like I said, time is of the essence. So I'm gonna go and gather some friends of mine, and we'll see what we can do to right this situation."
Okay. So, you know, thank you for. Wait, friends?
I mean, like I'm not here alone. You can't fly a ship all by yourself.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, I understand that. Just don't hurt her. Just kind of important to a lot of movement,
Oh
a lot of
no,
sanity
no,
here.
we're we ain't gonna hurt her. We're trying to rescue her, right? You said she's in trouble.
Yeah, I think she is.
All right. Well, I'll be seeing you around, Kevin.
All right, Oogie.
Gavster.
All right. And Oogie heads back to the ship and explains to the rest of the crew. I think I got us a lead. A little bit of work ahead of us, but I've identified a dissident who is important enough to the regime that they've apparently attempted multiple times to take her life. So if we could make friends, she might be able to get us inside, cause some trouble for this regime.
Well, um, good work. I mean, earlier I thought I heard you complaining about, the people on this planet, but you've made progress.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're a pain in the ass, but I know how to get things done.
Oh, so who's this person? Like, you trust what they've told you?
Do I trust what they told me? Yeah, I trust what they told me. I don't trust them all that much. A little bit wacky. Uh, I've been, fellow I've been talking to is kind of a conspiracy theorist, but this person that he mentioned seems legit.
Well, I
Well,
mean, the
that
place is
seems.
run by a death cult, so conspiracy theorists seem like the ones that might be sane around here.
I was going to say it's rather the opposite, I guess, right now. Usually it's the conspiracy theorists that are like, the outliers. But I guess they still are in this case.
In any case, this lady here, ApocWhen, it seems like she's quite a prolific critic of the regime, but she has fallen silent the last couple of days. And my buddy Kevin thinks that she may be in trouble, but that's an opportunity for us. If she is in trouble and we can get her out of it, then she may owe us a favor.
And favors sure can be very useful right now. So, what's the latest? Do we know a location?
We know her last known whereabouts. Reckon we'll have to do a bit of investigation.
Okay, progress. Good thing. Good
Do
thing.
that.
And Archibald's a bounty hunter, right?
Sure am.
So Oogie hands over the information that he has, including links to ApocWhen's live journal, her face page, and the address that and directions that Kevin gave him. And I'll hand this over to some other folks for some screen time.
Yeah, well, that's anything stand out to me about the I mean, I just pretty much have to the location and pick up the trail from there, right?
Yeah. The more you know about the bounty subject target, then I think this is the way I wrote it. I may have changed that. Why don't you go ahead and put that in chat for me too?
The bounty hunter.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. It's your own work. I did pick up level 2, by the way.
Okay, perfect. I used to have it where there was kind of a scaling time thing, but that made the whole text of it way too long. I mean, longer than it already is.
Yeah, technically, I really just basically did it. Like I say, accurate, detailed information, which I suppose knowing where they lived, presumably would be helpful.
Yeah.
It's
There's
fairly
still going to be
accurate and detailed.
some bounty hunter investigative work to this.
Yeah.
But getting an address of last known location is pretty good for starting to track somebody down. It's going to get you a lot of information to lead forward from there. So, Archibald is obviously going to that location. Who else?
I don't mind going. It'll be a fun venture out. I'm curious to see what the area is like. If I browse through some of the articles that were for the supposed hits on them,
Mhm.
if I then search up that area for keywords, is it a high crime area or is this an outlying?
Um, yeah, you can do a little bit of investigation into the blogger, the area. Um, one
Basically,
second
just
here.
trying to look at news sites and try and pull up reports to see if this is an outlier or if this is like the norm. Like, oh yeah, people get shot here weekly.
There isn't much overt crime like that in Fighton to begin with. There's obviously crime. There's almost none of my worlds are going to have no crime. Um, but Fighton is on the lower end of the spectrum.
I was gonna say,
But
with everyone being so friendly,
comparatively,
Wow.
uh,
And run by a death cult.
and run by a death cult, yeah. Um, this area has a higher crime rate than surrounding areas, yes.
okay.
And let's go ahead and move you guys over to the grid so we can start drawing boxes.
If I were to willingly make a roll, would I be able to determine potential? Do you know how the police always say, "Oh, look, we managed to get 5 guns from this area. We managed to get all this weed, all these drugs, blah blah blah."
Mm-hmm.
Would I be able to ascertain if there's a certain theme to this area? If you know what I mean, like if it's notorious for being the place to go for X.
Uh-huh.
I agree there, Knox. Yeah. Roll me. what do you think would be a relevant skill for Marcus?
Probably administer whichever man's wanting.
Yeah, that was my initial thought, but I was gonna see if you had something else you thought would work better with Marcus's background. Um,
If I
yeah,
was in person, sure, but nah, I'm just literally browsing the internet, trying to figure out what's happening.
let's go ahead and do administer then.
7.
No, it doesn't look like there's any particular theme to the crime in this neighborhood.
Okay. Okay. So, we're going to a place where it's maybe a bit more well known for there to be arrests or disturbances. So, I think we should make sure to keep an eye out for those that might notice us coming, at least strangers or off-worlders. But I'm curious to see. Oh, I'm curious to see if they know of who the person is who was living in the area with them, and if there was any protections or aversions to them.
Do you have any thoughts on that or response?
I mean, it's one of two things. Either they're disliked because they're bringing heat to the area, or they're liked enough that the people around them would afford protections to them, try to shelter them or just provide what assistance they can. Either that, or number three, they truly went so under the radar they didn't get noticed. But when you begin blogging enough that a random follower manages to find you, then yeah, I don't think you're that hidden.
Well, let me just make an observation. I wouldn't exactly say that Kevin was a random follower. Maybe a little bit more on the creepy side of things.
Oh, a persistent follower, maybe physically following.
Reading between the lines, maybe.
What do you mean between the lines? Why? What else did they say?
Well, I mean, he didn't exactly say, I've been following her around going through her garbage, but I mean, it was kind of there.
Right. See, I think this makes the information more trustable. Yeah, okay. So is there a reason they didn't want to come or participate?
Oh, yeah, because he was a coward.
Okay, I guess that makes
Oh,
sense.
yeah, that's seems reasonable. Particularly since they,
So, plan of action then. We'll go down there. What? We try to find out where they live, get inside. Maybe some people talk to the people around there. Or there other avenues you wish to explore.
seems to me like we should just pick up the trail, the home, see where we go from there.
Are we gonna force our way inside?
Is there even anyone home? If there's someone home, then I mean, if she's home, then what's the issue?
And if
But
they're not home, which is going to be likely,
yeah, we can maybe let ourselves in. We'll see when we get there.
okay, good to know.
And yeah, Oogie's coming with because connected focus and all. I want to be able to take advantage of it when the time is right.
Okay, sounds good. Um,
I got
everybody that wants to go ahead and put yourself in the box.
it's in the box.
Do I have a token? No. What?
You gotta pull it from. You can pull it from the whatchamacallit.
What? I've been linked to the wrong person here.
Spooky.
Marcusner is linked to Struclis
The token.
Jacobri.
The token is yeah.
Would a token be made by?
Oh.
Probably the default name that he had.
Yeah. Hang on real quick.
Speaking of, if you could update my, I'm just gonna add my. I'll add my last name to my token. That came up.
Okay.
That'll need to be
Struckless
relinked.
jabroni.
There you go.
Struclis Jacobri.
Yeah, that was the name that sheet had before you chose Marcus Snow. But there you go. All right. And
Hey, Dex,
uh-huh.
could you spawn me a token, please?
I sure could.
Thank you.
I'll even put it in the box for you.
Thank you.
Okay. So it doesn't take much for you guys to get out there. You can take your grav car Jeep or your
Minivan on it?
yeah. I feel like the minivan should be
Socomon
a
minivan.
ground car, but you know, who would really make a minivan grav?
People selling to soccer moms.
Yeah, and I suppose
Exactly.
it's great for police too.
Can I
The
take
paddy-
the grav bike?
Paddy wagon.
What's that, Knox?
I was thinking, can I take the grav bike? Or did we not get the grav bikes?
I don't think we got a grab bike. I think we got
No, I don't
a
think we
grab
did.
van and a grab jeep.
Yeah, you got a grav van and a grav Jeep.
Very lame.
So what you taking, the Jeep or the van?
I like the van.
Jeep. The Jeep's cooler.
Okay, we can take the jeep.
Style points.
I mean, there are fewer of us, so we don't need the van.
Yeah, but if we need to abduct someone.
We have a trunk.
Okay. I'm just putting some ideas out there.
All right. Yeah. So it is not hard to get out to this address, especially if you've gone back to the ship and come in from the outside of town. It's actually much easier getting there from the outside of town than from the more central areas where, I guess maybe Oogie was more in the medium circle of areas, one of the middle circles. But still, it's out on the outermost circle, which means that you just have to get to that circle and then travel along it until you reach that point. So you reach that address, and it is a bit run down as expected. It's a combination of initial construction when the road was just built, having kind of fallen into disrepair, and new construction anticipating a new ring road. So they would no longer be the outermost circle. And those two competing things make a scenery of new construction and less maintained construction just look a little bit dirtier than you see elsewhere in the city. The address that you're going to is more of a tenement block style building. Like it was just designed to house as many people as possible. And the unit number you've got is 347. So presumably floor 3, 47th room on floor 3. Is there any particular approach you want to take? You're just gonna walk up to the door.
Hold on, let me get a grapnel and we're gonna. No.
Is there a mail thing?
Uh-huh. There is.
How does 347 look mail wise?
Are you looking for like the name that's on the box, or if there's mail left behind?
Yeah. Well, seeing if there's mail left behind and seeing if there's a different name than what's already been told.
There is a name there. Um,
Probably not gonna say ApocWhen though.
it doesn't say ApocWhen now. And let's see. We'll go ahead and I didn't say it at the time, but we'll go ahead and say that Oogie also has the name of ApocWhen as given by.
And obviously the stalker with Doxer.
Oh yeah, the stalker definitely knows her name, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's probably picked up some of these packages and sent his own. If he hasn't, then he needs to level up his stalker game.
I don't think we should be encouraging people to level up their stalker game.
I mean, I think the dude already has a restraining order, so you know.
So he gave the name Arna V, and that is not the name on this 347.
What's the name on this 347?
Hang on, let me go to my random generator.
Here's a question: is the name that was given on anywhere here?
Nah. No, none of the names look like
Okay.
are exactly Arna V. The name on this is Zetharthan P. Actually, make
Okay.
it Zetharthan V, because people in these outer blocks are almost all V's.
Zartha.
Zetharthan. It is not a relevant name, but I'm going to
It's all of a sudden going to be very important.
It's one of them. You're not going to use your real name, are you? Especially if you're trying to get hunted down and killed.
Could be
there you go.
living as a dependent or something.
And I can't remember whether I clicked to get male names or get female names with that, so let's just call that a male. As far as naming
That's a thought.
conventions.
We can call that a mistake.
I really enjoy the Tamil name generator. It's great. All the names are like that. All right.
Yeah, I guess we go in.
Okay. Going up to the door and are you knocking? You listening? Is there any particular approach you want to take, or do you want me to just take the reins?
Is there like a gate or anything, or is it
No.
just
No,
okay?
this is
So you just
completely
walk
open.
right up to the door.
Yeah, it looks like at one point there was a buzz to be let in entrance, but the latch on that got broken.
Okay.
I mean, sometimes the straightforward approach is the best. I mean, just knock on the door, see who answers, and ask questions. I mean,
What are we gonna do? Sneak up to an apartment building? It's an apartment building.
yeah, right. It's like, I just can't really think of it. I can't think of any way to complicate this, other than maybe like I don't know, staking the place out. But we don't. Do we know what this lady looks like? Did he give us a disturbingly accurate description?
Yeah, yeah, I think he probably did. Alright, let me put this up here for you.
It's not like you can stake the place out discreetly. We
Yeah,
look
I mean, it's
different
just
to everyone here.
I'm assuming the doors. It's just like the doors to the apartments are inside, right?
There you go. There's your target. Yes, the doors to the apartments. Are inside.
Yeah, so to be able to identify. Yeah, so
That's the
what?
picture that Kevin painted for Oogie. Now, obviously, there's a mind picture, and so descriptions may vary. That should be a little bit darker, but I haven't gotten to change it up in Art Breeder. I don't think Art Breeder will play nice with that hair.
I thought you were saying that he literally painted me a picture of her.
No.
Might have. Sure, he had. I'm sure he has a painting or two somewhere already made.
um, the best that you get is that she looks kind of angry and a little bit goth, but that's almost everyone here. With colorful streaked hair in blue and pink.
Cat.
I mean, it's it's a pretty tropic picture. I'm pretty sure you could find that by searching for female cyberpunk dissident.
I actually made it on Artflow by the description. No, hang on. Where's the whole thing? Angry goth Persian woman with colorful streaked hair in photorealistic style.
Nice.
That is one of the results it gave me, and that's the one I liked.
Well,
That's excellent.
the first result does have the same hair color.
Nice. So yeah, that's your target. Let me go ahead and label her for you. There she is. You're at the door of apartment 347, and it doesn't appear to be anything special about it. The paint is oh, the paint is starting to buckle. It's getting to the point where it's going to be peeling. In say 4 or 5 years. And do any of your characters have any kind of city planning or architectural background?
Me and Oogie. Well, I guess Oogie could have city planning type stuff.
No, Oogie definitely
But
does not
No,
have city
not
I
from
planning.
mean,
Camiego.
yeah, not really city. I mean, maybe some like, hey, here's how to set up a tent.
Yeah, I suppose there could be some parallels. Yeah.
But
I mean, the only relevance Marcus would have would be from the towers.
Yeah, that's true. All right, Amaya.
The I like definitely no kind of city planning or architectural stuff. I was going to say if there was anything from background knowledge, wouldn't have been gone in the mind wipe.
No, it's some of those that background knowledge stays with you even though you don't remember why or how you formed
Okay,
it.
then I
And
guess
actually,
outside of that, maybe being around and inside buildings that were uncared for and
yeah,
abused.
I think that actually that works here. The combination of if Amaya says anything about this, but there you can put a bit of knowledge together from combination of factors. Um, this this road with all the buildings, it's this outer road with all the buildings like it being so worn down like this. Vuthli was not a big city before this consuming storm hit it. Um, it's I mean, this outer ring of roads hasn't progressed beyond this outer ring for probably decades, long enough for paint to be getting to the point where people have stopped maintaining it, and it's gotten from there to actually cracking a bit. Um, the new construction puts that in a different light. Boothly has gotten a sudden surge of popularity, and there are definitely people that are taking advantage of that.
Yeah, so it's sort of naturally abandoned for greener pastures.
You broke up or were quiet for the first part of that. Can you repeat it?
They said so. It looks like it's just been like naturally abandoned for greener pastures.
A little bit more the opposite. Like it was more or less abandoned as just this is where the poorest people are going to be living until the consuming storm issue came up, and then people started moving here, and construction interests moved in and started building up new places.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I took the wrong meaning from what you were saying.
That's okay. I'm glad you asked, so I could clarify.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, these people don't think like we do. Remember that. They want to be close to the consuming storm.
Yes.
And I guess arguably we want to be close to it too, but only for a short while for scientific purposes.
It's like a new theme park sprung up in a dilapidated old town.
Okay. But yeah, I'll
The theme is Doomsday.
I guess say as much in fuck. Yeah. I'll make it that this stuff is old and that obviously, but uh before all of this storm biz, uh there's a good chance that it was pretty much just squatters here.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah, now that makes sense. So basically, the names in the mailboxes are probably not like necessarily who was living there.
No, it's
Yeah.
all going to be fake stuff. If I'm going to be hunted down and shot, I'm going to use a fake name when ordering stuff.
Also, that. Well, regardless, I think we're back to the original plan still. Knock on the door, see who answers, right? And
Oh
if
yeah.
not, I'm sure we might be able to let ourselves in.
You knock on a door and there's no answer.
Anybody have sneak on their sheet?
I have sneak 0 and 2 decks. So
Okay.
I'm sure I've done a little bit of breaking and entering in my line of work.
Oh,
Or
absolutely.
my previous line of work. Now think about it though, I don't know that I necessarily have the tools for it. But I'm assuming this is not a difficult door or lock or anything. Like
It doesn't look like it will be.
it's like, you can probably pick it with a bobby pin. Sorry.
You want to give that a roll then?
So,
Go ahead and give me sneak
yeah.
decks.
Sorry, hold on, yeah.
If none of us had packed sneak for this adventure, just like, all right, well, just cut the door down with a laser spear?
Yeah, see that's a little louder than I was thinking. So yeah, we'll just jimmy the lock. Slip a cred stick in there.
That is sufficient to get yourselves in within a few seconds. It takes Archibald. He's not quite the lock-picking lawyer here, but
But
it
who is?
still only takes him 20 to 30 seconds. I haven't seen a lock that he couldn't pick.
Yeah, it's like the really hard ones. I feel like it's like 20 seconds maybe.
Yes. Although he doesn't, to be fair, he doesn't really show those that he can't pick. He did have a bucket of things that he was still working on. Anyways, tangent. It takes Archibald about 20, 30 seconds to get this. and the door creaks open.
Who's leading the way?
I'll go in first.
Who's walking in first?
Max will walk in first.
Marcus walks into a kind of, well, to a mess. I keep wanting to use the word dusty, but dusty is not appropriate. You walk into a mess of a tiny apartment. It has one bedroom, one bathroom, and the kitchen and living space are combined. If you can call what's here a kitchen, or a living space for that matter. But there are newspapers, actual physical paper newspapers, and magazines all over the floor. Not nearly as much as you would see in a conspiracy crazy person's room these days when paper is the form of media. But in this future, on Fightin', where it's much easier for governments and interested parties to remove things from the internet because they largely control the internet. Paper finds more of a audience for conspiracy theorists, and that's what you're seeing here. Is those various conspiracy theory magazines and papers strewn about. There are also places on the wall where it looks like things have been pinned up and then hastily yanked down. While
So
here,
this is sort of a crime scene investigation, so we shouldn't tamper.
Is there-
But I would like to observe to see if there's a specific pattern to the content
okay,
of the of what we see there.
Is
all right.
there any red string strewn about?
So maybe administer to try to kind of connect the dots, as it were.
Yeah, I'll certainly let you do that.
Okay.
And how long ago was it that Kevin thought that the ApocWhen was taken?
Um,
Within the last couple of days.
within the last couple of days, yeah.
Okay.
I'm guessing that 5 is a goose egg.
You know what? It looks like chaos. There's no discernible pattern, Oogie, among any of the material here, except the one that you already know, and that's that it's fringe science. It's fringe observations. It's stuff that isn't well supported by any data or studies, and a lot of it is claiming as absolute truth and presented with questionable proof. Now, the bounty hunter here sees things a little bit differently, I imagine.
Hopefully.
Being that you've invoked your bounty hunter focus here, right? That's the whole point of this.
Yes.
Okay.
My bloodhound knows.
Bloodhound Nose picks up on some details that might otherwise take others a role or a bit more time investigating. You've got your time frame of, within the last day or two, and Archibald can see in the kitchen that something was cooked just over a day ago. Wasn't a whole lot. Probably a toasted peanut butter sandwich. but somebody was here recently. Those blank spots on the wall where pins still are pushed in and red string is still attached are articles that somebody in flight was taking with them. You find one such article or photo on the floor, and it has a pin tear, something that this person dropped in flight.
So something. So they still packed up. It wasn't like they were dragged out.
They packed up. And amongst some of the details that Archibald is able to scrutinize very quickly here, you're certain that ApocWhen is still in this city. That she hasn't left, and based on a quick assessment of character, she probably isn't going to try to leave. She's got some help, and Archibald can probably grill some of the nearby neighbors for where she might have gone.
Probably trying to get away from the stalker.
The nearest neighbors, there's a spot on the wall that Archibald notices that looks like it's been knocked on, both on this side and on the other side. Sees that there's obvious signs of communication between here and next door. In fact, they may even be listening in as you guys are
helping yourselves into the room,
nosing around right now.
Yeah. Well, I think we could go ahead and speak with the neighbors, maybe. And try to pass ourselves off as the good guys. I mean, we are, right? And, it's just.
Yeah, absolutely, you're the good guys.
I think it's fine to say that and you had concerns that the authorities may have taken her, and maybe keep to myself whether my current thoughts or current clues point to see if they'll volunteer information with just that.
Okay. Archibald, I'm assuming that he takes just a quick walk over there and checks, or how does he approach that? How does he want to actually approach those neighbors?
Walk up and just knock, knock, knock.
Okay. Yeah. While everyone else is still kind of nosing around that room, unless somebody's curious as they see Archibald kind of sight in on a few things and then pick up a couple things and walk back out. Archibald, the door is answered. Somebody looks out past one of those door chains. Asks, "Who is Archibald?"
Excuse me, I'm I guess you could say acquaintance of your neighbor here, but we ain't heard from him in a while.
Is she okay? I haven't seen her
Well,
in so long.
That's what I was hoping you could help me with. We were worried the authorities may have taken her in.
Yes, they were here yesterday. Oh dear, hope she's okay.
The authorities, that is, huh?
It's an elderly woman that is peering through the door at Archibald.
Well, ma'am, does she have anywhere she might go to? We checked the usual haunts, but
I don't think she'd want me saying. I don't know you.
That's understandable, miss. Just bribery work on this planet?
Well, given the state of things here, Yeah, I mean Archibald can. She's not very tall, so Archibald can easily see over her head that
Sure.
she's her apartment's not in a great state either.
Yeah, some credits would go a long way, right?
They certainly would.
I think.
And
Yeah, so I'll just start flashing some money, basically.
okay.
Credits. I mean, what was probably 25 credits, probably gracious plenty. If I mean,
Yeah.
we're clearly not the authorities, so I
Yeah.
wouldn't think we come across as the authorities on this planet, considering that we don't look native at all.
No.
Look, I'm sure she'd appreciate it. And look, this is just a bit of a gesture of goodwill if it might help you remember.
Oh, dearie, thank you. Y- uh, yes, why don't you come in and have some tea?
So when I find out she's serves poison tea, but you know what? Sure, why not? Always shuts a little old lady.
And
Yeah, Archibald will
yeah.
walk blindly into it if it's truly a poisoning scenario.
Like arsenic and old lace.
I'm not sure too many younger folks have seen that here, Hilaire. Now we do have an older crowd in this game than in many games, but still. That one's black and white, Hilaire.
I said what I said.
Yeah. It with giving credit to Archibald's bounty hunting instincts here, he is able to gain this woman's trust.
Just a good
And
old country. I'm just a good old country boy, kind of like
good old
Ogie.
country boy. And she is
Maybe not
concerned.
quite as personable, but
she is concerned for Arna's safety and wants to check in on her. But as Arch saw in her making her way back to make tea, she is old and walks very slowly. So it's no surprise that she hasn't seen Arna in days. When she says that she's squatting on floor 4 of the same building.
huh?
That the police have been or had been watching the building for a while, and you guys didn't see
Yeah.
anything on your way in, but Arna was worried about trying to leave.
Yeah, makes sense. I mean, who would think to look in the same building that she was living in?
Right?
I didn't think that. I'll commend that. That's a very clever trick.
And the little old lady, thank you, I thought of it here.
Well, ain't you just oh gosh, I'm sure there's what's the word for smart? You're a clever young lady then. Butter her up.
Yeah. She flirts and then takes his credits.
Yeah. I wanted to take them off my sheet.
Okay. And you've got a new location.
Upstairs.
That's about how I think that focus should work. Point a variety of techniques regardless of actual skill, just for the purpose of tracking someone down. Seems about right.
I mean,
Sorry,
I'd say sure.
I just want to make sure it doesn't feel too much like a an automatic win, but it is doing the same thing that like the other folk I do.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. I mean, I have a 3d6 drop the lowest essentially for
Right.
ferreting that stuff out. So it's like, I mean, I can roll I can roll if you want me to, but it's a
Nah,
little late now.
nah,
Also,
I don't.
I did kind of grease the wheels with the bribe.
You did. You did. Yeah, no, I don't. I mean, you're using the once per game day effect of it, so I don't really feel like it needs any rules on this.
Yeah.
Was the crew inside apartment 347? Was there anything of interest that you wanted to investigate or know about in this older room of
Ye-
Arna?
Yes. So were all of the pictures slash papers taken down with a red string, or only select ones?
Sorry, I missed the. Not all of them were taken down. What was the last part?
No. That's what I'm trying to find. So were only select ones
Oh,
taken down, or all of the papers taken down?
no, only select ones were taken down.
So, I mean, it's more admin work, but literally, Max is going to take a photo and try to see if it's like, so and so shooting, and then it's got like the red string, but it's going to like a missing section. That's what he wants to try and figure out is like, what's the link to the missing sections?
Okay. The link to the missing sections is wisdom admin check.
Okie dokies. Okie dokies. Okie dokies. Brr.
uh,
I mean, probably if we tell. And sorry.
That's why I took
Thinking
pictures.
out loud.
That's why you take pictures, mate.
Oogie is staring in confusion at the litter of articles on the floor. Marcus is staring in confusion at the empty spaces on the wall. Oogie just walks over, scratches his head, and goes, "I know, it's just kooky dukes, right?"
I mean, I'm sure it makes sense to someone. But I mean, yeah, this is all a little bit. I don't know. Red string, though? I mean, make it much more obvious. Couldn't have gone like green string for this one, red one for that, yellow for that.
I mean,
Now, Red String's a classic.
are you suggesting that the biggest problem here is lack of color coordination?
I mean, exactly. You want to color coordinate certain people. Like if it's multiple people here, for the missing people, you'd want it to be yellow for one person, green for another, red for another. That way you can easily have a glance and understand that so and so is connected with these series of events.
Well, when you put together your own conspiracy board, Marcus, you can do it however you please.
Well, I know the way not to do it, which is to leave it all behind. Speaking of which, what have you found? I mean, you've been staring at the floor for a while.
I've just been trying to find a pattern here among what this person's been researching, and I'm coming up empty. It's just a hodgepodge of nonsense as far as I'm concerned.
Well, let's take a couple of pictures then.
All right, Oogie participates in the photographing.
How's
I
Amaya
feel like
reacting to all of this?
I feel like y'all are really digging into stuff that doesn't exactly matter to our mission.
It doesn't, but Max is curious.
No,
Like,
I mean
we're gonna blow her mind when we tell her what we know.
it it does matter because we're trying to enlist this person's help, so understanding her mindset is potentially useful.
Look, as a conspiracy theorist, and we have some real solid information that'll blow their mind. What
I
more
mean,
do they need?
if you
probably true.
understand the conspiracy theorist's theory, and you like buy into it and like tell them and regurgitate the facts to them, they'll believe you.
No, it's not saying you just
It-
provide
The
them the
world is flat.
information,
Let me
and
tell you,
they'll make it fit however they need to.
the
in
world
any
is
case,
flat. It's them heavenly rays. Oh, that's it. Come aboard. No problem.
I figured we came in here with the possibility that this person knew something that we didn't, and that we were going to enlist their help based on that knowledge. Now it's more apparent that they don't know something. They don't know anything useful aside from we might be able to exploit them to get us into the
I mean,
temple.
I mean, they might know something.
that's all I was expecting.
Well, I wanted to make sure we considered the possible avenues here. So I
I
feel
mean,
I feel like we can probably go to the next department.
like maybe what Saul said, they did an out of cycle, offering. Maybe that's what this is all about. Actually, yeah. A simple thing.
Hmm?
When are all these dated? Like, if I try
There's
to look for the oldest and the latest, is there much of a difference?
yes, there is. Arna appears to have been doing this for some time, for about 5 or 6 years at least.
So predating the cloud above.
Mm-hmm.
And one sec. What's the cycle on the offerings?
The offerings are every 5 years.
So theoretically started at the last offering, or just
No, not
before the last
necessarily.
offering.
Let's
Particularly the off cycle thing.
yeah, for the sake of putting a time on it, the last properly timed offering, excuse me, was about 2 years ago.
Okay.
And that's why this off-cycle offering is, well, I mean, any off-cycle offering is a strange event. And you see some articles or papers that proclaim how this off-cycle offering means that the conspiracy is unfolding.
Okay, dokes. Okay, dokes.
And Knox, what's Amaya's reaction to this mess that they're standing in?
I'm sorry. You guys lost me for a good 10 minutes or so because I had work duties to attend to.
Oh, apologies. I was just if you recall, the basic mess that is Arna's room, mess of conspiracy papers and bits and pieces on the wall. I'm just looking to get a kind of a view of Amaya's reaction here.
My uh, Amaya's earlier reactions would be to double check the door to see if it was newly forced in.
Okay. And it does not look like it has, or that it was.
I did hear something when I got back about the previous inhabitant packing things up and kind of leaving in a hurry. But that information would have come after I checked the door, and so
Okay. Fine. So you have
from
a
there I
new
would have.
destination. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Nope, that's good. We have a new destination.
Yeah, you have a new destination on the 4th floor.
Right upstairs, folks.
Right upstairs.
We never would have thought to look there.
Lulu. And are you taking the same approach when you reach this new apartment?
I mean, it's tried and true, ain't it? Unless anyone else got any better ideas.
Been successful so far.
This one is apartment 481. In case anybody is needing that for notes.
So not literally room straight above. Boring.
Before we
No.
go in, are there? Did the apartment have like windows?
It had one window.
One window. Okay. Let's
Not quite full dystopian.
identify where that is before we do this. What was it?
It looks away from the city, out into the wilderness that you guys, basically into the wilderness that you guys came from, or landed your ship.
Okay. Okay. So it's I'm guessing by the door.
Uh, oh no, the door into the apartment is all from, one of those entry hallways, or like those long hallways from old style. Well, I don't know if they're old style, but from just densely packed apartment buildings where there's a door in, and then very opposite that, on the wall opposite the door, is that single window.
Okay. Was it like a big window in the last apartment that we were in?
No.
No.
Are,
Okay.
are you asking because can someone crawl through it?
I'm asking if someone could escape through the window. Yes.
Someone could
Okay.
escape through the window, but it's I wouldn't call
Okay.
it a big window, but it is big enough for someone to escape through. Yeah.
Is there a fire escape? Like, I mean,
Theoretically, there is. But yeah, you look out the window and it doesn't look safe.
well,
You would be risking both tetanus and a 3-story fall using that fire escape. Can you guys hear me?
yeah.
Oh, okay,
Yes.
just making sure.
Yeah, I mean, I still think just knock on the door. I mean, we're clearly not the authorities. Again, y'all.
Okay. For reference, this apartment, 481, is facing outside, away from the city. Also, that is a pattern of 2 occurrences at least. And on knocking at the door, you need to make a notice check. This does count
Oh.
as. Yeah, I think this is in
Maybe.
pursuit, so you get your 3 dice.
Sure.
Everyone else, anyone else that wants to make a notice check, go ahead.
I assume wisdom.
Yes, wisdom.
Oh wait, whoops! I didn't have that prompt before the 36. That's a pretty good roll though. Let me just re-roll the 3.
Right.
Or roll another d6. Ah, so it's 12.
It's even better.
It is. Let me go ahead and change that so I can actually prompt me for dice.
Yeah, I like that option.
Ask. Yeah, that's a pretty good sheet.
All right. So Archibald picks up on excuse me, on the very slightest sounds of a gun being cocked and movement of very cautious movements towards the door.
No need for that.
Does Archibald say that?
Yeah. We ain't here to fight.
Hear the voice call through the door, female voice. Sounds kind of youngish. Who are you?
We're people with a lot of information you might want to have. We just need and we're hoping to get a little bit of help from you too.
What information?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe about the truth about everything. What's going on here?
You couldn't have an inkling of the truth. What do you know?
Well, we know. Well, we got a real good guess about what's really behind the consuming storm business.
Yeah.
We were Maybe hoping to have your help confirm a few things.
Oogie speaks up. We think it's some kind of extraterrestrial organism, and we're hoping to take some scientific instruments in there to get some closer study.
What?
You heard me.
The door opens just a crack, and the first thing you see is the gun. Looks like she's packing a semi-auto pistol, I should clarify. Held
Yes,
carefully enough away from the door so that you couldn't just reach in and grab it.
Wow, that attitude.
Oogie holds up his hands in a sign of peace and.
And you see the posted face. Cavan's verbal description was spot on to the picture. She looks a bit dirtier than the picture. Looks like she has not had been able to attend to good hygiene for a bit. The hair is just about as stringy as that, and the color is fading.
So you mean it ain't natural?
Nope, that is not natural.
Wow.
Surprisingly. So you're saying it's aliens? Ancient aliens?
I guess you could call it that.
He holds up his hands, says, "I'm not saying it's aliens, but it's aliens."
You just literally okay.
Yeah.
He invited it. I mean, it depends on what you think about alien. What do you you know anything? You ever heard of the Infraverse?
Hang on, I gotta click something here. Let's make that a moment. Instantly. So you're saying it's aliens? Ancient aliens? Stop doing that. Stop. All right. First, I'm gonna use the moments thing. I don't know how that's gonna work out.
Wait, what are you doing?
There's a thing on stream where you can capture a moment. It's basically a clip, but comes with extra benefits if you were watching the stream at that very moment. You've got a little thing that you can click and claim the moment.
Oh, so you're claiming it for yourself?
Yeah. I'm mostly just trying to use a thing that Twitch has given me. So, yes, I loved the I ain't saying it's aliens, but it's aliens. And Arna seems to have taken a little bit of humor from that also. Opens the door more, still holding the pistol, but lets the door swing open and backs up into a mostly empty apartment aside from some new decorations on the wall. And she says guardedly, "That doesn't mean anything except that you just read all the way back in my blog."
Oh wait, did her blog mention something about the Infraverse?
No, not the Infraworld or Infraverse. Aliens.
Or Infraworld, right? Oh, I guess technically I guess technically being the bounty hunter, I should have read some of her blog. So I guess technically I would have read that. So.
I think that's entirely up to you. She was prolific, and this was 6 years ago. It was the very start of her blog. Turns out that she thought that
I would say Archibald probably glanced through it because you got to get to know the target.
Yeah.
But he definitely was not really interested in the actual content, so it's a 50-50 whether he'd remember any particular thing.
And it's not like it was the very, very first post she ever made, which would also be, that those first few posts are relevant. But early on, she espoused a theory that the theocratic leaders had been replaced by aliens.
Well, I guess it was closer to. Well, how long ago we talking about getting her played? Because I'm pretty sure that was a long ago.
You know, her blog doesn't put a time frame on it.
Yeah, well, I got my theories too. You know, well, Lord, do I have my theories?
Uh, so, uh, let's
I
sit,
think.
I guess, but there's nowhere to sit.
Yeah, well, we'll just stand awkwardly or lean against the wall, and hopefully the wall don't cave in.
She motions, yelling, close the door behind you. How many of you are there?
1, 2, 3, 4. We really had to bring the whole group. Whatever, it's fine.
No, there's one more person you could have brought.
We could have brought Riley.
Yeah.
Actually, no, Riley would have been pretty good. That would have been a very convincing demonstration. But I mean, we can still get to that later, maybe. Yeah, I guess we didn't really bring our full presentation about the Vega, did we? Did anyone remember to pack that? I think we should just go ahead and tell everything, right?
All right. You want to give her everything you know about the Vega? Everything?
Not about the Vega necessarily, but I would give her the rundown on what we know about mnemokinetic entities and that we would like to study this one further.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll defer to y'all.
Okay. There's going to be a couple of relevant questions from her in this, but I will get an initial roll from you. So.
Oh, you want a bad roll? I'm gonna make a bad roll.
Okay, I don't mind a bad roll.
Because Oogie is going to try to explain this to her using no and intelligence.
No is what I was looking for.
I'll help you. I'll help you with my no and intelligence.
You got to come up with a different skill to help.
Right.
Does somebody want to try and make? Does somebody want to try and make the no roll while someone else is trying to make it charismatic and presentable with connect or talk?
Unfortunately, I think Oogie's the person that would do that.
Well, I was gonna say, I can do connect and charisma. I'm good at that.
Okay.
Here,
all right.
How about I do the no roll, because that's bad on my part too, and then you could try to help with the social stuff.
The color commentary every time you say something. Oogie chimes in. Now, what he's trying to say is.
Look, we're not sending our best.
That actually really feels appropriate for this duo here. Let's do it.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, honestly, Archibald's understanding is a little too. Yeah.
Oh no, there's nothing that can save that roll. Archibald's not a full expert, is he?
Believe in the heart. No, he's a full warrior.
That's
we need
right.
to do some fighting.
I think Connor's the only expert in the party.
I think we're gonna be really confusing Arna.
Okay.
I mean, I would. My interpretation of this would be that she probably thinks we don't know what we're talking about, but we're sincere.
Hopefully.
All
That's
right.
the main thing, is the sincerity, right?
Yes, and the result of this reaction roll. Neutral. I did mean to put that at a -1 though.
Is that still neutral there?
I don't know. I have to actually look up the book now to see what a 6 is, because I don't want to just keep rolling until I get a 6 to see it.
Let's see.
Reaction roll. A 6 is still neutral. Yes.
Okay, yeah, I kind of figured it would.
I was wavering between a -1 and a -2, and the -2 would have been negative.
Okay.
Didn't want to penalize you too
the
much
-1.
for the roll. Yeah. So, Arna is not at ease with this description. It flies kind of against uh what she seems to believe, that these are just aliens. And if you're describing the Nemokinetics as what they've been described to you as just kind of memory loops, that doesn't jive with her belief that they are actually aliens. So she is arguing, and
So wait, I'm actually confused because I thought that you described them to us as sort of like animals, like not just phenomena, but actual pseudo conscious entities.
no, the Nemokinetics are not. The Nemokinetics are, I
Like a
believe,
phenomenon, right?
yeah, I would have tried. I may not have done a very good job, but I would have tried to describe them more like ants that are on a believed, or insects that are believed to be just acting by a certain programming. That they smell this pheromone, they do this thing.
Oh, okay, you did. So, but that would have given me that they are they're an animal,
Mm.
but they're not just a weather
Well,
pattern.
I definitely see the confusion, and I actually feel like the confusion fits in character. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's fine then.
yeah, most of those descriptions have been in character, anyways. I don't believe I've given you guys any, or very much at all, out of character exposition on them.
Well, and in fact, I imagine that that's what we're trying to gather by going in there and studying the thing more
Uh huh.
closely.
Very much so. Yeah. Um.
And that's where I'm going to throw down my connected focus.
Okay.
Well, you see the thing, Miss ApocWhen. As you can tell,
ApocWhen.
we're ApocQueen. We are
Wait,
just a little bit confused about the nature of this entity, and we are attempting to study it so that we can discern the truth.
wait. I thought it was ApocWhen.
That is Oogie's trying to throw down there is great, but Arna is distracted by Archibald's uncertainty about the
The name.
pronunciation of her name. Yes. Uh,
Oh, it's pronounced ApocQueen. Oh.
she gives Oogie his time to speak, but then her attention is consumed to tell Archibald it's a play on words.
Well, I mean, both of them are pretty good. Anyways. Sorry, Oogie. You continue the spiel.
Right. So what I'm saying is, if you have any associates who could help us get closer to that temple with our scientific instruments, we think that we could get to the heart of the matter. Not just words, but actual scientific readings.
How do you get aliens from scientific readings?
Well, I mean, if you had a bioscanner and you were to scan me, you'd see that I am a human, right? So you'd find something out about my biology. We're hoping
Wait,
to
wait,
take.
wait. And she kind of pauses for a second. She looks like she's having some kind of a some kind of internal discussion.
Oh, Lord, she's got multiple personalities. She's discussing with herself.
I mean, she could be possessed.
Oh, crap. We didn't bring the scanner.
She mutters, "That's how do I know I can trust you?"
I didn't know you can trust anyone.
Oh, come on. That's such a bullshit answer.
It's a
No,
bullshit question.
I mean,
look. How about this? I can make all this go a whole lot easier. Okay, we'll all
What?
open our minds to new possibilities.
Okay, yeah, let's not do drugs now, Marcus.
He pulls out the leaf from his bag.
Damn it, Marcus.
Well, roll
Yeah.
me a Charisma Connect roll. Poor Arch, not Archibald here, but Arch XL is just
Oh.
rolling in his garden. Farm. I don't know.
Right.
The
All
connect
the
rolls.
Connect roll.
This feels very much like a Connect situation to me. And Marcus notices that her eyes are drawn to the leaf. In a positive way. This has yeah, I know. I find it funny.
No.
And
not
sad and
wrong.
disappointing in some ways, but yeah. And she hang on real quick. Sorry about that. She asks, "You offering?" Ben?
Mm-hmm.
She asks, "Are you offering?"
You think I bring this for no reason?
She looks
Okay.
around at
You've
everyone
always got
else.
to carry. You've always got to carry the good stuff with you.
Like Archibald's just gonna look really awkward. It's like, I hope I'm not expected to partake.
Hey, look, nobody's forcing you. This is
But
simply an opportunity to expand your minds with new possibilities and to help one connect with the others around them in a appropriate and pleasant way.
I just
I'm gonna be forced to like bond with Arna, aren't I?
I just haven't gotten high in so long. We can sit down. I mean, like, actually sit. And she uncocks the pistol and flips the safety. As in, activates the safety, not deactivates. She cautiously approaches Marcus. Light me up.
If it works, it works.
Yep, I'll use
So
up
long as
my
I'm
leaf.
not expected to join you.
250 creds worth of it.
Let's actually take our mid-session break here because
Oh, we gotta do the drug sequence. Also, did you say 250 credits?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yep.
I mean, I could have offered a psych, but I think that's a little bit too much.
Because see, actually, I'll do this. So we'll come back at about 12:15. Looks like we've got everyone here. I don't see anybody muted, so I'm gonna go ahead and bring us back in. All right, we're back, and this time we have music. So, Marcus has just offered drugs. We've learned that Connor is down in the grav jeep. I said ready to assemble weapons, but given that I've also said that it takes like 3 to 5 minutes to assemble them, maybe he's actively doing that already. If that's okay with you, Lulu?
Perfectly fine.
Okay, great. And we can massage the timing of that so that those weapons are ready if at the moment that they're needed. And Arna is clearly interested in the leaf and tells Marcus to light her up. But there seems to be another one of those kind of internal disagreements. And we're going to see how that plays out with a roll. This one does have a modifier. And it does go negative this time. Oh wow. That one would have been negative with just a -1. Turns out whatever is in internal disagreement with with what? With Arna getting high has won that internal battle. Arna goes rigid for a moment and then looks at Marcus as he's well, what stage of the process is he in? Is he rolling it? Is he lighting it?
He's getting everything set up. Yeah, rolling.
And Arna takes a more angry tone. You're trying to lull me into giving up my secrets.
I think it's more we're trying to lull you into accepting ours more.
So Arna is going to interrupt that by, well, running straight at the wall / door area out into the hallway. I believe that Amaya would probably be very near to that location for any kind of intercept that Amaya wants to do.
Yeah, I was just about to say, could I do that?
Absolutely. Let's see. Go ahead and roll me either punch or exert, and whichever physical attribute you think applies. So to set the situation up and give you a little bit of narrative room, Arna is not running for the door. Arna is running for this wall that leads out into the hallway. Arna, in Amaya's estimation, seems to be under the impression that she can run straight through the wall.
She's not taking the drugs yet, right?
She's not taking the drugs yet.
Going to go ahead and roll that with dexterity.
Okay. Now,
and I guess.
yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Do you want more information before you narrate?
Yeah, please.
Okay. So, this is going to get a little bit out of character mechanically, but Arna is not wrong in believing that she can run straight through that wall. Arna is, well, I know that you've played Mass Effect 2 multiplayer and, well, just Mass Effect 2. There's kind of a Vanguard charge effect going on right here.
Okay. Biotic charge. Fun one.
So, your roll is definitely high enough to restrain Arna from this action in some significant way. How you do that, I'm happy to leave to you.
I guess the the immediate thought was trying to perform some kind of tripping maneuver while at the same time grabbing onto her in some way.
Okay. Is Amaya a MMA type exert? Is she grappling? Is she wrestling?
No. Uh, if anything, I'd be using the staff sash to kind of trip her up that way.
Okay. All right. Um, hold on one moment, please. All right. Um, so taken from that cue, Amaya sees that either this person is drug crazed and is going to bounce off the wall, or there's something more going on. And Maya, while she can't remember any of it, certainly has experienced more than her share of strangeness that occurs with things. If nothing else, she's seen that these entities can make people do crazy things. Um, just from her time training with Raza. And so, tripping up Arna does sweep her legs out from under her. Takes a little bit more than just getting the staff between them. It's actually a little bit of a challenge and a struggle for Amaya, which she still succeeds significantly. Now, do you want to put Arna on the ground, or is she going tumbling head over heels into the wall?
I think into the wall would be the smarter choice. Just whatever way she initially falls, I'm just going to follow it to wherever she lands.
Okay. And is Amaya trying to? I know I said grappling earlier, and you said no, but is she using the spear to try and put her into some kind of lock?
It's a big stick with a lot of leverage, so yeah.
Okay. All right. Amaya has that leverage over Arna as she struggles. It immediately starts struggling to escape this. What are the rest of you doing?
Going over to the wall and just knocking on it. Thought she was about to run through.
No, she. Oh, gotcha. Right. Yeah, I misread that. Yes. Okay. I'll get to that in a second. What about Archibald and Oogie?
Archibald's probably just pulling his mag pistol and just, like, just getting a ready stance for whatever the heck's going on.
Okay.
He didn't expect things to turn quite so fast.
Oogie.
But yeah.
Yeah, I would say that Oogie's kind of been taken by surprise. So he's on his feet, but still sizing up the situation by the time that Amaya has already put not Arya, Arna into a lock.
Okay.
Just trying to figure out what's going on.
All right. I intended to narrate it. There is a yelp from Arna as she hits the wall with her head pointing towards the floor, her feet up in the air, and she put a little bit of a dent in it with her coccyx, with her tailbone, uh, before falling and getting tangled up with Amaya and her big stick. And while Marcus is moving towards the wall to knock on it to see if this is actually a solid wall or if there's something fake about it, Arna hisses and spits, and then you see a ball of light fly
Yeah.
out of her,
Just knew I should have brought the scanner.
and through the wall. And then Arna is quickly whimpering instead of hissing and spitting, and she has stopped trying to squirm out of Amaya's grasp. She's actually
I
kind of
have a
starting to
question.
plead.
Did that thing try to pass through me?
It
Like,
did not.
So it didn't go to the wall I was going to. It went to a different wall?
Well, it did go to the wall that you were going to, but if we were to kind of draw
Okay.
up the scene there.
Well, basically, I want to telekinetic shoot, basically.
Okay, gotcha. Um,
It's a -4 to the shot, but yeah, I want to see if I can hurt this thing.
yeah. Let's go ahead and I know I like to separate the combat stats from combat, and this isn't combat, but just to see what the numbers tell us, go ahead and just make a telekinetic ranged attack roll. You're talking about with telekinetic armor, right?
Ah, complete miss.
Yeah. Yeah, your telekinetic blast, however you want to describe it, is going to put another dent in that wall. Or worse, depending on, again, how you want to describe it. What's this look like to everyone else?
Just kind of me like flicking my hand at the wall and just like, oh. I was hoping to, have some fun, but had to go get ruined. And yeah, it'll just leave like just a dent in the wall.
Yeah. When he does knock on the wall, it seems as solid as other walls here, which is to say, not great. It's certainly not up to like everything else here. It hasn't been maintained, but it's still as sturdy as any wall in even the most dilapidated building that hasn't succumbed completely to rot. It's still drywall, still plywood there. It's not something that a normal person would be able to just smash through, especially not one Arna's size.
No, what? Anna. Presuming that's still your name.
Yes. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Go, please.
How long was that thing inside of you?
I do assume that Amaya
And I
is.
am getting off of it.
You're letting her talk. Are you letting her completely free, or are you just letting her talk?
Yeah, letting her come. We all saw the white thing.
Yeah.
So
We all saw that, right?
Yeah, all saw that.
nobody actually took the leap yet.
um,
Well, Marcus might have.
he might be doing it right now. Having been released completely by Amaya, she turns and pushes her back up against the wall. Winces a little bit in doing so because she did still fly into the wall. But she looks a lot less confident now. And in response to Marcus's question, about a few years.
DM question.
Uh-huh.
The one we saw in our crew member. What
Riley.
color one? Yeah. What color is that one?
Those are white with a very faint blue tint. It's faint enough that it's only really noticeable when you're looking for it.
Okay.
They have described that Vega, who are only temporarily possessing their host, don't have that blue tint. And so it would take a good notice check, difficulty 8 to... this was a very quick... I'll stick with difficulty 8, that's fine. To try and discern that, but this is making things more complicated than they need to be. You've just seen it leap out of Arna. You know that it's not the same as what's possessing Riley. Or,
Yeah,
well,
I'm
riding
just
Riley.
trying to establish if there was like a difference in colours between certain ones, or if the Death Cult had its own colour wand, you know.
Oh, I gotcha. No, it seems to be exactly as Riley has described, or as Crew has described through Riley.
Yeah, I was making sure they weren't like oh, these are super badass, they're red, or white, or, blue, or something like that. You
Nope.
know.
Or somehow the black smoke entities now know how to possess people. Wouldn't that be weird?
All the
Well,
same, Maya is much less interested in the people here, and is, if possible, going to go try and see where this entity left to.
Well, you've been told by Crew Riley
The
again,
little old lady.
that they can only really leap 10 meters. They really can't survive in real space without a host.
But they
To
can
the
go
phone
through
next
walls
door.
and everything.
But they can go through walls as if they're not even there. There are potential barriers, but they're the kinds of things that prevent teleporters from penetrating.
Basically, they can be up a floor, down a floor, wherever they want.
Oh yeah.
But basically, we're within 2 floors.
So an apartment building is not really a place where you're going to have much luck tracking it down, most likely.
It's going to be very difficult, especially with how tightly packed these apartments are.
And the fact it can just
And-
literally hop,
Oh.
hop, hop, hop.
Yes.
A fairly large portion of them are occupied, right?
Yeah.
Or
I mean,
is it?
I would say
Obviously
not a
it's
large
not
portion,
super.
50 to 60%.
Okay.
I have a question just based on something that came up in the last session that we had.
Mhm.
You mentioned that there were free floating Vega, but if they can't survive in real space, how can there be free floating Vega?
That would be a mistake of terminology. What you just saw is a free floating Vega. That just means that they're not bound to any one person.
But they can possess people. They have to possess people to make.
Oh,
it.
I see. Okay,
Yes.
so when you said free floating, you meant that they were in possession of people in the crowd, but
Mhm.
could leap if they wanted to.
Yes.
Right.
Mhm.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah, they are not bonded in the way that Riley and Crew are.
Right.
They're yeah, I get it now. Thank you.
They're doing the morally wrong thing.
And Arna is doing the looking at you scared thing.
Folks, I think we need to get out of here.
Yeah.
I reckon it's only a matter of time before that thing summons reinforcements.
Reinforcement? No, it can't. He can't.
Wait, what? Why not? What's going on?
Yeah, we just assume all the aliens work together.
No, he's one of the impatient.
What now?
Wow, we may be learning something.
The impatient.
But they want the end to come, so they're impatient, or they don't want it to come.
I mean, that just sounds like the Vega to me.
Yeah. The what?
The Vega.
I know what that is.
Well, tell them that sounds a lot like what the impatient. I mean, I'm assuming by the name impatient, they want the end to come sooner, right?
I mean, I guess so.
But wait. So he's not in. Well, hold on. He's not working with the authorities, the whoever's in charge of the theocracy, is what you're saying?
No,
They call.
no,
Huh.
they're the
What?
bad guys.
Right. What do they call themselves? Do we know?
Theocracy.
No, I mean the ghost folks in them.
She might not be aware that there are other ghost folks.
Well, there are.
That thing, that person,
Aliens.
Ghost alien.
we have some familiarity with them. They're sort of creature that we call the Vega.
El never put a name to them. Just
Oh.
said
L?
So
Eln.
so wait. So wait, you're saying we should have been trying to work with? Oh man, what the hell?
I mean, this is
I
what
mean,
We'll get for assuming they're all working together.
that's what we get for assuming they're all working together.
Oh, see, I told you we should have all just had a smoke and relaxed. Well, you know, opened our minds to new
Well,
possibilities.
please,
that
can I
didn't pan
still?
out.
Can I still? Jeez.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
Reaching cautiously, looking over at Amaya, or where Amaya was last, and she reaches for the joint.
Hands over.
She
Yeah, I think you'll be needing that.
she relaxes a bit, and Uki, or Tulair, if you would like your connected focus to come into play here, you could certainly use that that connected and connectable charm to win over Arna right now and get the favor of information and progress from her.
Yeah, that sounds like a good plan. Now, listen here, Miss Arna. We are sorry to have alarmed you in this way. It was never our intention for this to come to blows. We were completely sincere in our desire to get just closer to that cloud so that we can gather some information about it. What can you tell us about your friend there?
Yeah, maybe if we can get into the temple, if you can help me get into the temple, Eln might come back.
Elm, is that the name of your friend?
Eln. Yeah.
Elm.
Your rider. No, we're not gonna use that terminology. What was possessor? That's too many syllables.
He's just been my friend.
So, how did you first meet?
Where?
Well, he found me from my blog. Told me I was right about the aliens. And he's kept me safe whenever the police, possessed by aliens, you know, would
Right.
come and try to stop me. People need to know.
So-
She's getting a little bit more relaxed from the leaf and says that again, more relaxed. The people need to know. I forgot she's getting high. I figured that
Right.
last one was a little bit too intense for someone getting high. Although
I should have figured there were multiple factions here. Oh, that complicates
you didn't
things.
discern that based on our experience of the Vega.
I mean, we maybe just figured the crew was an outlier, but if they've actually got politics among them, that could be played to our advantage.
I mean, this is the first. Well, no, I guess it ain't the first time the Rise has dealt with more than one faction on a single planet, huh? I don't know. I just kind of assumed that the people in the crowds that were possessed were, secret agents. That's what I did.
Maybe some of them are. How could we know?
most of the people that are at that temple are possessed by aliens too.
I assume
Absolutely.
everyone in charge is.
Oh yeah, it'd be like a
Yeah, definitely.
proof of investment, I guess. Like, unless you're not possessed, then you can't get in.
I still got theories about the consuming storm. I think that was their plan all along.
I mean, I personally think the consuming storm is just their way of channeling more to come through.
It's just delaying. It's just delaying. It's showing people who are hearing the word, that are getting skeptical. It's showing them that there is something out there, but it's all bullshit. They made it up.
I am so confused about who's bad and who's good here. Because I'm pretty sure the bad one, I would assume the ones that call themselves impatient are the ones that we're I don't know, man.
So I'm gonna take us out of character just a little bit to kind of let your characters have a lengthier conversation with Arna about this and give you some specific details that may be helpful, if you're okay
Yeah.
with that.
Sure. I mean, I guess one thing, in a sense, it kind of makes sense. The faithful would, or I guess the true faithful, quote unquote, would basically want the end of this planet, right?
Well, we don't know.
I don't know.
I think we're all jumping to a bunch of conclusions here.
Oh, I do. I have a whole map for it.
Well, some of what Arna has to tell you will support some of your conclusions, and she says that unlike Crew, who's apparently able to actually talk to Riley, she's only able to get impressions from Elm. But through the years, she's gotten the impression that Elm, as one of the impatient, of which there are a few, but most are aliens to her, wants to, one, sabotage social order, forcing the church to advance their plans. Two, they want to infiltrate temples so they can basically make internal mechanisms within the temples complete their job. And three, they're very recent one. They're trying to hinder the church's efforts in stalling what the temples were designed to do.
So it's a disgruntled ex-employee. Got it.
Kind of. You get the very strong impression, if not outright stated, that the impatient are impatient for the temples to complete their work, and what the temples are supposed to do is to actually bring about the end of the world. The theocracy is apparently stalling that.
Instead, they want to just bring...
Which would presumably counter to what they stand for, right? God, I have no idea who the good or bad guy is now.
I'm sorry.
Like a death cults.
Probably the theory is...
Bad guys.
My theory is that maybe originally there was a cult. Vega got involved. Vega realized, hey, we can actually utilize this to bring more Vega through and a breeding ground.
But isn't that what don't the Vega essentially
the core principle of the reason they set this place up?
Well, here's the thing: is the death cult seems like it's perfectly in line with what the Vega want too, right? I mean, so far as we're concerned, the Vega are working towards the end of the universe. Is that understanding correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but if you think the consuming storm might just be literally like a portal to bring more Vega through, and if you're Vega, then you'll want to spread, won't you, rather than just dying on a planet?
They want to subsume everything in the Infraworld. They effectively, for all intents and purposes, the Vega want to bring about the end of the universe early.
Oh yeah, but to do that, surely they have to spread out. They don't just do it from a single point.
I kind of see what you're saying, but regardless, they still essentially have the same goal. I mean, sure, they have a different means of going about it, maybe, but
let's say
both sides could be both of them could be the bad guys.
So maybe the impatient are the ones that we know as the Vega, and whatever's possessing the regime is a different faction.
Right. Maybe they're the good guys to us. Maybe we're entirely backwards. I don't know.
In that case, that would mean, I mean, if that's true, then the Vega, vis-a-vis, the ones that we know about, are the minority here on this planet.
I gotta say, they may just very well might be as complicated as humans.
Really? No. You
I
thought
hate
we
to
were just
admit it.
plankton?
I mean, maybe even more so in your case, Marcus. You're a simple man.
I don't know
Yeah.
that far. Certainly has
simply enjoy
complicated
life.
tastes.
Um, through this, Arna has finished her initial joint and will happily take on more if Marcus offers. Or, not offers. Marcus allows. She asks for more.
Maybe later. So we have more information.
Yeah, no, she's been more relaxed in chatting with you guys throughout all this. And so when Marcus declines, she looks at everyone else. So, are you here to
We're here to find out what's happening.
uh,
Right now, that's getting more and more confusing by the day.
you need to
Uh,
get into that temple then, right?
I
I
mean,
feel
that-
like I'm just gonna agree that yes, I feel like I think it's above and beyond our mission to figure out what in the hell the factions here are. Archibald's just gonna fall back to, yeah, sure, we just need to get into the temple. We'll get our readings and we'll be gone. I'll keep that part, maybe that latter part,
I
to
never
myself.
I never could with Elm because he said that what's in the temple can destroy him, but he can't destroy you.
I could probably destroy you.
I mean,
But
that's a matter up for debate, but nonetheless, we are intent on getting in there.
She looks over. If Amaya has come back, she looks over at Amaya, fearfully. No, you're beyond. You're something special.
Oh, thank you.
You. I'll take you to the temple if you'll just stop them from trying to rein in the machine. And then
Wait
I'll
a
write
minute
about it in
here.
my blog, and Ellen will come back. Sure to
Wait
come
a
back.
Hold on.
You just said
Is the
machine, right?
machine? Hold on. We already did? We were able to scan, like, we know there's not. We don't have any reason to believe there are condensers, right? I feel like that question came up about condensers. Like,
You don't have the long range scanners to have scanned for them.
okay, so it's a very real possibility that the machine in question is a condenser.
What's a condenser?
The condenser is actually how the Vega get in.
Yes.
Yeah, that's literally what,
It's
that's what
one of
Mark
the
has been
ways.
hinting at.
No, somebody explain this to me. This is part of the background that I don't know. I don't know.
See, even I don't know the law, and that's what Max was literally hinting at, which is it's the way they come through.
So is this an out of character question, Tiller?
Yeah, this is an out of character question. If
Okay.
there's something that Raza knows about how the Vega get into the
I'm going to give you all
normal
the
space.
information, and you can decide how much of it Oogie has absorbed. So,
Okay.
The condensers are effectively pre-tech machinery. They're very specific machinery that opens a portal between real space and the infraworld. It's an effective portal in that it allows a human to walk through it and be in the infraworld as a physical person. It's also an effective portal in that it allows entities to pass through its portal plane into real space. Now, one of the features of condensers is that they can become self-sustaining on a runaway reaction, such that disconnecting them from power in real space will not shut them down. They continue running. Another part of that is that the longer a condenser runs, the larger the portal that it creates becomes. It begins to expand past the circular physical bounds of the actual machinery. And Riley had early on made some comments that an entity this size is it's impossible. It was impossible according to her because it wouldn't fit through a portal. Now, obviously, if the portal gets bigger, then it can fit. But even these mnemokinetic entities appear to, most of the time, need some kind of a portal. Though there are stories of ghosts that seem to be mnemokinetic also, slipping through.
Well, Riley was from the place that was already that was like entirely within.
Yeah. Yes.
So a portal wasn't necessarily needed there.
No, it wasn't. All of Riley's information is coming from crew.
Yeah.
Can't think of any other details about condensers. Yeah, I think that's about what the Raza knows about condensers at this point.
I will say, if I think so far as the Raza is concerned, if there is a condenser, it very much so should be shut down.
Yeah,
Because that essentially accelerates the Vega's plans of basically subsuming everything in the Infraworld.
Oh, right. Thank you, Meowkin. That's the other thing about condensers is that large enough and the space that the portal encompasses is basically subsumed into the Infraworld. It becomes a parallel or what's a better, I guess just parallel plane where it's both planes at once, both spaces at once.
And do we what's the evidence that we have that it's bad? Because I remember you told me at some point that like subsumption into the infraworld doesn't change anything for normal space. Is it just that the Vega get to be there then? I mean, what's the problem with it?
The reason that it's considered bad, it has come from bits and pieces of information that has not been able to be verified. So it is still working on assumptions, but it's basically that if there is enough space, enough real space that has been subsumed into the infraworld, then it's basically going to drag down all other real space and bring the entire universe into the infraworld. At which point, well, the theory is that that is the end of the universe's cycle. It all collapses inward and then explodes out again.
Essentially,
Okay.
presumably the big crunch.
Yeah.
Okay, so it causes real space to with sufficient infraworld subversion, real space ceases.
Yeah. Some of the supporting science there is the theory that the infraworld is both infinite and zero. And so when you add in the real space with having all of its physics properties that we have, mass, and you bring that all into a point that is actually effectively zero, that's the premise of the singularity theory.
Sure. Okay, I understand now. That's background that I needed to understand kind of why Raza's mission was important.
We're here to save the universe.
Yep. Literally.
You keep on saying that word, but I don't think you know what it means.
What? Say?
But actually, also just locally, the assumption's not great. You can ask Riley about where she lived, which was basically a post-apocalyptic planet.
Yeah, an entire
because of the black smoke entities.
Right. the smoke entities. We've dropped the black. Remember.
Oh,
the
okay.
the smoke entities are a denizen of the infraworld that can pass through condenser portals, and they basically just pass through real space, consuming carbon. It's generally not good for living things.
They're also very malevolent.
They're also
We
very
have
malevolent.
we have a lovely recording you can watch of them torturing a like some psyker kid, basically.
A bioson that was able to keep themselves alive for
Yeah,
days.
Yeah.
Okay. So trying to get back into character headspace here.
Okay.
So you're saying you'll help us get inside. You know some way that we might be able to get inside the temple complex, and all we got to do is make sure that the process of perpetuating that storm and letting it go to completion is continued.
Eln knows that the aliens are trying to stop it. So, yeah.
All of a sudden, I feel like we need to be talking to the people in charge. But gosh, I don't know who to trust now. Thanks,
No, I
Vex.
think this sounds like a plan.
Love the condenser. Save the world.
There has been talk of bonuses for condensers that are destroyed, but the Raza has not specifically laid that out in contract terms, because they're still trying to establish and all that stuff. They don't want you guys to die trying to blow up a condenser.
Yeah, it seems. Well, and if the people in the temple were really trying to stop it, they would have already pretty much destroyed the condensers. So presumably they have other plans. If that is indeed what it is, which, like I said, I can't really. That just seems way too likely at this point. But I have jumped to conclusions before.
It's like the what's it called? It's like the nursery bullshit. What was it? Gods, with Mother. They're farming the people for more mental energy. Is what it sounds like to me. If I'm still audible.
You are.
Ugh.
Yeah. Not to throw too much of the meta lore at you, Tulare, but that is also another thing that the previous campaign characters came across as unsubstantiated rumor corroborated by some observation that human memories seem to create or recreate real space in what could be termed the local infraworld. When you go into a portal into the infraworld, it looks like you were in the same space as you were in real space. It's just that everything is all sepia, stormy. There's roiling smoke. There's a wind
There's a
blowing
black
you
sun.
back. There's a black sun. Yeah, there's that too.
Actually, that raises a very important question. If we just say blindfolded somebody on the ship and led them into a condenser portal, what would they see?
That is a really good question. I will have an answer for you when and if you do that.
Also, on a related note, does this include the vacant, who have no memories?
There's not enough data.
Didn't
I mean,
Jack go in?
has a vacant gone through a portal before?
Yes.
Yeah, Jai did.
So we know that they still see something that's reminiscent of their surroundings.
Yes. The memory collection seems to be just that memories collect in the infraworld and um, form it. What Nox was referring to is that there was a ship in a system that was assigned, an AI was assigned the task of keeping 100 people alive, and had some very specific, fairly unusual criteria about them remaining sentient and observant. Um, Basically capable of observing their environment and forming memories. And I think the crew's assumption there was that that was basically to duplicate the ship that they were on into the infraworld. So we've gone way into the meta knowledge. I don't expect you guys to have this knowledge at this point in this campaign. This was uh, hopefully designed so that brand new players would not need all the back lore. I hate when sequels make you have watched the first one.
Yeah. Regardless, I
It's
think
just like a conclusion drawn, but it won't be affecting my decisions in game because I don't know about it. All I know is that we're getting paid in some way to destroy condensers. So
So Arna has offered to lead you down some tunnels that she says will be guarded, but will take you into the temple.
Sounds agreeable to me.
yeah, I guess at the very least we need to confirm what's in there. Whether we can get around to destroying it or not is another question. Or I guess at the very least we need to confirm what's in there. On top of getting the readings for the entity.
Okay.
All right. So is she offering to do that like right now, or are we going to go? Are we going to go gear up?
The timing is up to you. She can take you right now. Um, she is anxious to do it sooner rather than a week or a month from now because she wants Ellen back.
I mean, I think we should have Riley with us this time.
Yeah, and we should talk to crew about what we've observed here today.
Yeah, I definitely like crew's feedback on the situation here because I don't really know who's good and bad now.
Arna, we're losing the daylight, and we've got to go collect some gear before we'll be ready to do this. But I reckon we could do this as early as tomorrow.
Okay.
Definitely.
Yeah,
want
that
to
would-
Shall we meet you back here, or is there someplace else we ought to meet?
Without Ellen, I won't know when. I won't be able to defend myself.
let's take her with us.
Yeah, we can take you with us.
Yeah, okay.
I don't remember the when they possess, do they gain their knowledge, their information, everything they know?
Um,
For?
no. There doesn't appear to be any direct, any real sharing of knowledge back and forth.
Okay,
No.
that's fine then.
Well, I'm just gonna be
Just
upfront
before
and
we
say,
get into the ship, let's make sure we scan her.
Yeah, yeah.
Do we know if 2 Vega can occupy somebody at the same time?
You've
So we know.
you've been told by crew that that's not possible.
I mean, so we saw And is there always like a visible representation when it's happening?
Yes.
Like how obvious would I mean? Presumably,
She's not been out of our sight. We saw a Vega leave her, and she's not been out of our sight.
She has been against the wall, but even that, based on some of the descriptions that crew has given in various lessons at Dry Sun, there's still you should still be able to see the light that signifies somebody's just been possessed.
so
So
they can't really do it subtly. Presumably.
they can't really do it subtly. It's quick, so if you're not looking, or if you're only idly observing, you might just think, "Hey, somebody just used their flash on a camera."
But we're all pretty.
Yeah, we've been in conversation
Yes,
with
yeah.
her this whole time.
We're all quite alert.
Yeah, there's definitely no way that, based on the descriptions you've been given, which I'm telling you are correct. Your characters could be skeptical, but I'm telling you those are correct. For Arna to have been repossessed while you've been talking to her.
All right, so we can scan her if you guys want to, but I'm pretty confident about this.
I mean, we'll still scan. I mean,
It doesn't cost us anything to scan.
No, there's no
Yeah.
harm in it. No cost, no harm.
Okay.
So
All right. You
and
escort
if
her
not,
out of the.
it would... Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Nox.
If not for us, it would put the other people on the ship at ease.
Yes, very much so. All right. You escort her out of the building, and she does look scared. Now I said earlier that she, commented on her size, but she actually is fairly scrappy and athletic for her own self.
considering she's been cooped up in a building for a while. Actually, I don't know. I guess she may have only recently got cooped up.
She seems like she's kind of kept active, with the exception of these occasional coop up in building moments.
Also, I just want to make sure everyone still remembers there are people waiting outside for her. Remember?
Are they waiting outside for her?
That's what the grandma alluded to, no?
I must have missed something. I maybe didn't hear that correctly.
She did say that there were officers, there were officials that were waiting for Arna. That's why one of the reasons she felt she couldn't leave the building. You didn't see anything when you came in though, and you guys were being fairly observant. It's certainly possible that somebody could have been hiding in another building and watching the location. You just didn't see anything obvious.
No, we can do about it now, anyways.
Arna is putting on a hoodie and covering herself up. Not that that makes her look less suspicious, it just makes her look less like Arna.
Which ironically makes her look more like Arna.
I see the gray is getting to you.
It's too gray, Degs.
Hey, before we go, I got one last question for you, Arna.
Yeah.
That blog that you were putting on and all that, that was mostly your idea. But how much input did Ellen have?
Oh, once he joined with me, it was like he opened my eyes to things that I knew but could never see.
All right.
Kind of want
Just
to.
curious, you know.
I feel like we should go back and check the blog post around the time. Let's see exactly what sort of changes happened. But
Ooh,
we can do
good
that.
call.
We can do that later.
Yeah. All right. So, are there any other steps you want to take now that Demarcus has brought up the risk that there might be people looking for Arna in the near vicinity?
Yeah. Like, are we going to put some different clothing on her? No. Anybody?
That's an option. There's other people around here that you could either buy clothes from or steal clothes from. Arna does not have a change of clothes for herself.
I mean, I don't imagine that just a pair of clothes is going to do the job.
Oh no, but that's the simplest thing you can do. I mean, it's up to you guys. I have no proper way to suggest anything here.
Do you guys want me to change?
Well, no, because it won't really make a difference if they see your face.
Well, I can put on makeup. I mean, I've gone outside before. I just didn't want to leave when I thought they were going to be patting down everyone that came out.
We didn't see anybody patting anybody down on the way in.
Well,
Yeah, but who's gonna stop some, off-worlders?
why don't I just get me back to my apartment and make sure nobody's in there, and I'll just put on a wig. I'll make myself different. I've been
Easy
doing this for
peasy.
6 years, guys. Not chased by the police 6 years, but
That's a valuable skill for us to have. evading the popo.
yeah, it looks like you found an NPC who has some skill in that.
All right, yeah, let's escort her back down to her apartment.
Okay.
Scope it out, make sure it's safe, and
I guess for one thing, we do some point probably might need to recruit more people for the Raza. I don't know about Arna. I'm pretty sure not Arna, but it just made me think of that. Talking about NPC being skilled in something.
Okay. Arna does take some time in her apartment, but when she comes out, she looks different enough from herself. She's got she's cleaned the dirt off her face, and she's made herself look cleaner and paler. She's wearing a wig, and she just doesn't stand out as Arna anymore, and she's also doesn't stand out as, hey, there's that suspicious hooded person, or there's a suspicious hooded person. It obviously won't hold up to, scrutiny if you get stopped, but it's enough that at a glance nobody would really recognize her. Well, few people would. Archibald might if he was trying to track her down.
But Ellen would.
And so there's no issue.
Did you just say Elle Woods?
No, Elm would. The the entity that was possessing her for years.
I know.
Do ya?
And pause me if I am pushing too fast, but you guys are able to escort her to the Jeep and load her up and leave town without any incident. Your Connor has been queued in to have the scanner ready when she comes out, scans her, and finds that no, there's no Vega possessing her at this time.
Hooray!
You take the
really awkward. There was.
you take the 15-minute drive back to your ship, and Arna looks worried again in seeing that you're, now at a ship.
I'm just driving out into the woods.
Has Marcus been more free with his drugs yet, or is he still withholding?
One more.
Okay, no, she was fine with being driven out into the woods.
Take the edge off.
Yeah, she's just sitting in the back with Marcus, sharing a joint.
The music just changed suspiciously.
Buzz up here. Open the windows.
Is anyone else hearing that combat music?
It's a Jeep. There are no windows.
Oh, did it just change?
Archibald looks wary for some reason.
It's fine, don't worry about it. It's not like the title of the track is named Ambush for any reason.
I'm ready.
I know we've got some alert PCs in the group, so I wouldn't ever try to.
I mean, I'm not
ambush you.
actually alert.
I know.
I am just reminded of, like, that meme, like, with, like, I don't know if it's D&D meme or whatever. It's like, does anyone else hear combat music?
Yeah.
No, it's even better. Hey, cleric, our friend here, the paladin, he needs some help. He's suddenly gone mute. He isn't talking. He just isn't moving.
Listless,
Oh, what
yeah.
happened? He said something just about fuck this job just before he left. Give him a week, he'll be fine.
I think that's pretty recent in this chat somewhere. The listlessness. Yeah, there it is. 2 weeks ago. He muttered some nonsense about being called into work, then he got all weird.
Yeah.
Let me guess, he will now make important decisions. His voice is off. How did you know? Give it a week. It usually passes.
I remember this. It was a week ago, you said?
2 weeks ago. The listlessness. Handbook of Heroes is it's kind of like a little webcomic blog.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. It wasn't in the Discord. It was on a different site.
No, it's in Discord. It's in the discussion channel. I'll link. I like that particular one just because it's so relevant. Like, technically it's about D&D, but it's, a lot of stuff that talk about is applicable to tabletop RPGs everywhere.
That's fine. It doesn't take much to convince Arna to actually get on the ship. She does
Drugs.
ask for clarification. Ask you to confirm to her that you're not going to just fly off with her. At least until she has Elm back. She clarifies.
No, that's flying off the planet's a bit of a pain in the ass with the anti-ship weaponry.
No, darling. We're not going anywhere just right yet.
Yeah. And so, yes, you are able to. You've basically made a day of this. And so it's running down towards the evening. You are able to spend the night on your ship and prepare for what she describes as going from sewage tunnels to maintenance tunnels and through some unofficial tunnels until you are reach one of the escape tunnels from the temple.
Well, that's tomorrow, right?
That'll be tomorrow. Yeah, she's basically just describing to you what kind of tunnels you're going to be going through when you decide to go.
Okay, because I want to talk to crew before
Mhm.
before the evening is out.
Yeah, no, I'm just giving you the information, giving you what you'll be going through so that can add any questions you have to the crew and crew discussion.
Okay.
And then, of course, once you've gotten to those escape tunnels, there will be guards at the end of that, and they are going to resist any efforts to pass them. She implies they will do it with violence. And so you wanted to speak with crew?
Yep. Out of Arna's earshot.
All right. So let's give you guys a box so that we can see who else wants to be in this. Yeah, there we go. Who else wants to be in the conversation with crew? Go ahead and move yourselves over to that box there.
Archibald's got a headache. He'll just wait for the briefing afterwards.
He doesn't want more confusing, ambiguous information about who's good and who's bad.
He'll just take the down. He'll just get the summary after they're done talking.
All right.
Sorry, self-insert, I suppose.
Okay. Marcus is hanging out with Arna.
Yeah, making sure she's appeased.
Yeah, she's obviously the more relaxed she is, the easier she is to get along with. But even as the leaf is fading off, she's easy enough to get along with, unless you take offense to her confident assertion of crazy conspiracy theories.
I'm just gonna do that. Yep. Yep. Yep.
And she is definitely one that is more interested in telling you what she knows than hearing what you know. So, over here, talking with crew, through Riley, I'm assuming, unless you wanted crew to possess one of the other crew members and talk through them directly.
Nope. Through Riley is fine.
All right.
So Riley, before we chat up with crew, I got a question. When we talk, does he hear us, or do you have to tell him what we say and then he responds?
Here's everything.
Okay, I wasn't sure. I wanted to be polite.
He can even see.
All right. Well, so crew, I feel like a bit of a dunce for not thinking of this before, but are there different factions among your people?
He says, kind of. It's a gray area.
See, this gal we brought on board, Arna, she was possessed by well, I don't want to say that it was a Vega exactly, because I'm not even sure what that means anymore.
Vega, or just that type of entity? Like, Crew is a Vega also, but he prefers Aiden because the Vega have other plans.
Right. See, that's what I'm talking about. So this'n, the one that had hold of Arna was interested in hastening the end of the world. It sounded like. So that would be what we would normally call the Vega, right? Have I got that right?
Yeah.
But it seems that there are other Vega or Aiden or of your persuasion, who are in the regime, who are more interested in preventing the end of the world. And we're a little confused about that, and I was hoping you might shed some light on that. Is there something that we have misunderstood?
Well, Crew says, wait, no, okay. Alright, Crew, Crew says we're not all the same, but we're all the same, and I don't know what he means by that, but kind of like like, uh, okay, he has a human analogy. He says all the leaves on a tree do the same thing. They all collect water, yes, and sunlight. But when a leaf falls off, it's carried by the wind. And like in this analogy, this is weird, crew. Okay, in this analogy, the wind is humans, and so Vega that get carried by humans, even though it's the other way around, fine. Get Vega that get carried by this windy human farts um, are more shaped by it. Like Crew says him as an example. He was like these Vega before, and then he possessed humans, and the humans changed him. Not changed. Okay, fine. They didn't change him. He grew. Does that help?
Oogie scratches at his scalp. Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, that's kind of like being a person, right? Like you talk with somebody else, and you
Crew says yes, he is a person. He's not, but he is. Fine, Crew. He's a person.
you talk with somebody, you have a relationship with them, and you find that their ideas rub off on you. That seems natural to me.
He says that because of how Vega possess humans, it's a little bit more. I mean, it's like that, yeah, but it's deeper, kind of like because they're sharing these kinds of experiences. So says that bad people make Vega even more bad, and good people like me make Vega better. I mean, in human terms, he doesn't like bad and better.
Right? No, I wasn't going there. This was not a conversation about judgment. This is just trying to understand the people that we're dealing with.
Crew, thanks you, by the way, for asking.
Well, you're mighty welcome, Crew. Then out of character. Give me a second here because I have to formulate a thought. So this is just Oogie deep in thought
Okay.
as he thinks about this.
While we're giving you a moment there, Nox, did Amaya or you have anything to put in there?
No.
Okay,
Sorry.
no worries. Nox, are you going to be ready for your hello self at the end of this session?
Let me pull it up. But
You were doing
yeah,
yours this session, right?
I can do it this session, yeah.
Okay, cool.
I've already finished writing it.
Good. Cool.
So Crew, I got just one more question. Yeah, Riley seemed confused about this, and I got to admit I'm kind of confused about it too. Because it seems like when a Vega inhabits a person, that they are the one in charge, but the way you make it sound is that more often than not it's mutualistic.
What? Oh, Crew understood. Okay. Uh, so he says that a Vega don't know this happens.
They think they're the ones in charge, even though they ain't.
Well, that's easier to answer. So the Vega, the free Vega, like this whoever was possessing Arna or whatever was possessing Arna has full control over their host. Like make them run, make them fight, make them say things. But usually leaves the human to operate, to do their daily whatever humans do? I don't really know because I didn't grow up in a norm. All right, fine. So kind of in that way of thinking about it, Vega does have full control.
Well, I'm still a bit confused about this, but I think I understand well enough for now. Thank you both for your time.
Crew wants to try and clarify. Okay. Okay, I get it. So the Vega is physically in command, right? But the Vega thinks it is. Oh, okay. There's an important part of Vega that Crew says I'm missing, and that is that the Vega do what they do because it is what must be done. It's like saying that that I eat because no, it's not like that. It's kind of like that. So uh, yeah. So the whole Vega thing is that everything that they do, they're doing because they think it has to be done, and they think that what has to be done is what they have to do. Does that make sense? Okay, and so when they get changed by being inhuman for a long time, they still think that what they're doing is what they have to do or what must be done. They don't know that they've changed. Crew,
So
how do you know? Oh. Okay.
Yeah, you said that before that the Vega do what they do because they must. I mean, you ain't just animals though, right? Yeah, I mean you said you're a person, so you're not just driven by instinct. You and I are having a real conversation here.
Well, why do you
Mediated
breathe?
by Riley, of course, but still.
Why do you breathe?
Well, that's an autonomic function.
A what?
But you and I are. But me having a conversation with you is different from me breathing.
Having a conversation, sure, but you breathe because you have to breathe.
So is this how? So when you say you do it because you must, is this how
It's
the
not
Vega
because you must, it's
survive?
because it must be done. He says that's important.
Says who?
Who says that's important?
No, I mean who says it must be done, and why must it be done?
It must be done because it must be done. All of this just kind of goes around in circles.
You and Aristotle would have a field day, but you know what? This is too much for me.
Me too.
I'm just a simple country chicken.
Can't you let Crew possess someone next time you need to? My brain hurts.
My brain hurts too, Riley. How about I go
Sorry.
get you a soda?
Yeah.
All right. So Oogie's gonna go take Riley for a soda.
Okay. All right. Yeah, Meowkin had the distinct pleasure of having been through a similar conversation in the last campaign. Except that Vega was more forcefully hostile.
I remember that wasn't the hostile one. The one the most similar conversation I'm thinking of was wasn't it Gru or something like that? on
Yeah,
the
actually, you're right.
Drew.
There's been a couple of them.
Drew, yeah, on the on that planet. That I guess you'd call it a prison planet.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Boy howdy.
All
And
right.
that was like trying to understand like the Vega as well. And yes, it is. Boy howdy, some high level concepts.
Well, I'm glad I can make it sound like that.
Like I think I understand, but also, yeah. I mean, I think that's a good place for it to be. Like it's like someone was like, I think I understand, but it's still very confusing. Like it shouldn't be a concept that's easy to understand, anyways.
Yeah.
I agree with your assessment though. The Vegas suck at introspection.
Yeah. Like they don't realize a change. Like I mean, because I feel like it's really what things like introspection is like. Hey, like looking back, like hey, this is anyway. Anyways, yeah, I think they suck at that.
I think this is a good place to end the uh
The session proper.
the session-ish. We're going to carve in a little bit of time for Amaya's hello self, and then we'll have about 5-10 minutes for any kind of review. So let me set up music for a difference here.
Not the ambush music.
Not the ambush music. I'm going to put you back on this screen here.
I haven't had music this entire session.
That's fine. That's roll 20. There we
To be
go.
fair, I've been getting pulled in all directions this entire session.
Oh, you have been out of in real life.
Yeah, there have been a lot of people here, kind of looking. It's summer, and I'm at like a beach stop, so there are a
Oh.
lot of people that get stranded out here at this train station
Oh,
and
okay.
wandered into restricted areas looking for the train to go home.
Well, is now a good time for the hello self?
Yeah.
All right.
There are a couple people wandering around, but I'll deal with them afterwards.
Okay. Then I've got the music and the screen all set up. Let's go ahead and hear it.
Great. I'm going to, the screen will pop on. I guess the past Amaya will be there with a little prompt sheet, and it's not being hidden or anything. But our employers required this document as part of the job requirement. If I had to wager a guess, it'd be to prevent a budding mutiny over the missing memories. But your name is Amaya Wabakri. You were born on Kanagiris and escaped the war. You're here, so you don't have to worry about going back there. She taps her head as she says, fresh start is the better part of the deal, really. They wanted somebody technical, and you fit the bill. Or at least you will once we get you back up to speed. Is going to point out a little box that's being brought into camera frame. Inside of this, you'll find some papers and some parts to study. Don't let them fire you, don't get killed, and whatever you do, don't go back. And that's the end of the video, but inside of the box, when it was opened, in addition to the homework and the parts, there was also a small handmade knife.
Okay.
That's it.
That is good. Fantastic, folks. Thank you for the session. I'm going to put us into review mode now.